Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Ben from the Gambling Racket Podcast. I'm here with my co-host Vic to talk about the news that the entire tennis world is talking about today, and that's even spilling over into some other sports forums online. It's the Andre Rublev disqualification today, or default, from his match with Alexander Bublik late in the third set in the semifinal of Dubai. Rublev, coming in as a number 2 seed, was a pretty heavy favorite against Bublik. And
Bublik
they,
plus 270. Cash it, baby. Cash it.
yes, please,
Ivana pays DQs his
please.
win.
If you're not paying attention by now to these Kazakhstanis, you're missing out on some money here. So, but hey, we'll get to the betting again in our recaps and in our tweets. But Vic, the real discussion is, was this warranted? We'll talk about history in a second, but like, give me your initial reaction when you saw what happened.
Hell no. I was in a meeting this morning, had my camera off, and had my laptop set up to the side so I could watch the game. And I had to unmute it to see what the hell they were talking about because I didn't see anything that was outlandish. He kind of got in the line judge's face, which some people said, oh, that's a no-no, but it wasn't like a protracted exchange. Earlier in the third set, right after Bublik won the second set tiebreak, he freaked out at the umpire over new balls. I don't know if you caught that, but
Oh
he
yeah,
had
I
like
saw the
a
whole
5 minute
clip.
tirade
Oh
about
yeah.
new balls. So this Rublev, what I saw was way less. Did not seem to warrant like even a match penalty, like a point penalty, and they straight DQ'd him. That's not right. And from what I've seen, a lot of other tennis players are agreeing. Adrian Manarino had comments. The tennis players union had comments about how this isn't right, and a lot of people are pushing for this to go to Eagle Eye. This is a perfect example of why we should have the computers. The Terminator replace us all.
Yeah, and they will. In 2025, everything is going to electronic line judging. Linesmen are going to be out of a job around the globe. So maybe this guy has flipped a bunch of tennis fans. If they were in support of having the linesman on the court, maybe this guy's changed a lot of minds, and he's because
The
of his
only
little.
time a linesman belongs on the court is when Joker wants to smash a ball at him at the U.S. Open. Okay, that's the only time it's acceptable for a linesman to become part of the story.
Just become a
Um,
target.
yeah, yeah, to become target practice for the greatest of all time. But no, I thought this was insane. I mean, I saw some people saying that Rublev was out of line, and like maybe, but that's also not the worst thing I've ever seen somebody do to an umpire official. So I don't know. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick on the Bublik freak out, and at the end of the first set, apparently he was confused as to when they do ball changes. He didn't realize that the tiebreaker
Doesn't count
sets
as a game.
doesn't count as games. So
Yeah.
he was expecting a ball change. I think he had a different racket because of that. He ended up smashing his racket because they didn't change the balls. And
That's when you know it's a guarantee. That's when you live bet Bublik. As soon as he smashes the racket, live bet. Fire the live
that's
bet.
a
That's
good point. Dude, if I was awake, yeah, because you said you were in a work meeting. I was just getting up. I was in bed every morning. I wake up. I put tennis.tv on my phone to start watching whatever's going on in Dubai because it's at ungodly hours. So I
yeah.
caught all of the third set and I think the end of the second set as well. So I had to see a replay of the Bublik freak out. Apparently, like depending on where you go, like Italian Tennis Federation rules do count uh, tie breaks as games for ball changes, and ATP doesn't. I I don't know who else does or not, but I get the little bit of confusion there. I'd be frustrated too if I was him. As far as Rublev goes, my reaction was obviously going straight to DQ without even checking if the guy was lying or not about what he said. He
Yeah,
said he
no
could
video
understand Russian.
replay.
Can he? I
Insane.
don't know. I don't know this fucking linesman. Does he understand Russian? Was Rublev even speaking Russian? I've seen multiple angles, multiple recordings of this event. He's so like he's so heated and he's so kind of like on the border between English and Russian. It's hard to tell what he's even saying.
Yeah.
So some people have been translating from Russian to English. The most like level-headed take I've seen from someone who did provide that translation would not, like they said, it was a Reddit post. They would not say that he said fuck. He said translating whatever this Russian word is to fuck is probably not warranted. Like at the best, it's like heck or damn or something along those lines at that level of severity.
Like
So
a
like if it's a
mid-tier curse.
language thing, that's
Yeah.
one thing, but because that was part of the discussion early on. It's like he called me a fucking moron or something like that. And
Yeah.
Rublev said he was speaking English. Everyone else is saying he didn't say that. So like, what is the truth? Regardless of that, you're right. At most, um, a point penalty. I I think a warning would have been fine because yes, he did
Yeah.
freak out. Intimidation of the linesman, sure, but is that worthy of a default? No, and it's not in the rule book. It's not written in the rule book that way. Physical abuse is explicitly in there. He did not get physical with him. He didn't throw a racket at
That
him.
would have been worth
He didn't hit a
seeing.
ball
That
at
would have
him.
been TV. That would
Yeah,
have been pay-per-view TV right
yeah,
there. I pay to see that.
exactly. But it is kind of a gray area, right? I pulled up a list to see folks that have been disqualified over the years and what they did. There's a lot of just like Mute, who's actually playing right now. I have his game up against Jerry. He's up 1-0. He's been defaulted against Laszlo Jerry for verbal obscenity against the chair umpire. We've had the Italian bad boy. We were talking the other day about Daniel Evans, the British bad boy, but the Italian
Yeah.
bad boy, Fabio Fognini, has been disqualified for simply verbally abusing the chair umpire.
I love
So
that little guy.
but
He was
a
man.
lot of this stuff, most of these things, I'd say, were either someone hit the ball at somebody or someone smashed their racket on the umpire's chair. And like it'll say, like, oh, verbally abuse the umpire while smashing his racket on the umpire's chair. So I get that. That when you take it to a physical level, that's one thing. But like when you do the Russian, Italian, what are you doing? And you get in someone's face, like come on, I get like there's a certain level of etiquette for tennis, but these are professional athletes. These are dudes with testosterone through the fucking roof. They're feeling competitive. They're in the third set. It's 5-6. Think about any other sport. Football, you get to hit somebody every other play, and still guys are freaking out, throwing shit on the bench. Baseball, guys run back to the bench after striking out, throw a bat, throw a helmet, all three flip the fucking peanuts and the Gatorade coolers all the
Yeah,
time.
smashing the
Like
Gator coolers
it's
is my
just
favorite. Yeah.
taking taking your frustration out. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a sign of, hey, I'm invested in this sport. I'm good at it. I feel like you're not taking it out on somebody else. In football, you actually do take it out on somebody else. But hey, like you got all this frustration built up. That's a safe avenue. Smashing your racket on the ground, fine. Boobly got a warning, I think, right? But
Yeah, he got a warning.
he said some
He got
shit
a
to the
warning because he
umpire.
smashed the racket and he also said fuck. And then
Yeah.
he's like,
Oh, that's
I
right.
did
He just
not say
swore.
fuck. I said goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Like,
Yeah.
it's let these guys be professional athletes. It's part of the sport. I see too many comments that are like, oh, it's absolutely unacceptable. This is tennis, not a cage match. Like,
Paper
what are you
soft. Paper soft,
what are you talking about? Like, of course it's not a cage match, but like if you get screamed at on the street by a random homeless guy, do you imagine like immediately imagine yourself in a cage match with this guy? Like this guy was just he might have fucked up. The linesman might have fucked up. I think the ball was like I
I
think
think,
it was called correctly.
yeah, I think so too.
Dude,
But I mean, he was
sometimes shit
also
doesn't go your
known.
way and you get yelled at. To go
Yeah.
and tattle. I've also seen some conflicting opinions about what happened. Someone said off camera that um the tournament director called the linesman over to say something to the umpire, but it looked on camera like he was just like walking over there and snitching on him, even though the
He
umpire was
walked
doing
over and
something
snitched,
already.
is
She
what
was
I
going to
saw.
give him a warning or something already.
Yeah. No, he walked over and snitched is what I saw, and then they called the tournament supervisor over. And the thing for me is like not to go to the video replay. Like there's thousands, hundreds of cameras, and maybe not thousands, hundreds of cameras in there pointing at this guy. Like you should be able to get a clear answer of what he said. I mean, we haven't done it yet, but from what I've seen, nobody has found anything that said definitively that he said fuck. So
No, I've seen a fan recording from a guy sitting essentially right behind the linesman, and you can hear everything that he's saying, but it's so garbled that like I
yeah.
can't. It's garbled not because of poor quality, but because Rublev is like screaming with an accent.
Was in his mind. I mean,
Yeah,
blew that
yeah,
third set. He was up like two. He was up a break, I think he was up 40-0 and he blew it. Like he was in control of that game and he kind of let Bublik back in there. So
I
I
tweeted out when
understand
it
what he
happened
did.
because I had Bublik plus 3.5 games, and he was down 4-2. And if he was down 4-2 games, his service down 40 love, and I'm like,
That's
he's
it.
got
Yeah.
he's got to save all these, because if he loses this game, then Rublev's going to win his serve, and it's 6-2 final set. It's over. Bublik brings it back, saves the serve, saves like what, 3 break points. Actually,
Yeah.
he saved a deuce. He saved 4 break points because it went add out.
Yeah.
And so I get why Rublev was frustrated. Like, come on, that's a frustrating turn of events. Let the guy have some emotion on the court. I know we expect like a handshake after the match. That's different.
Well, they were
The,
cool with each other when at the end of the match,
yeah,
like
Bublik played it super cool.
yeah, there's no issues between the two of them. Like, so that even shows further that, this was not warranted. Like, it'd be one thing if Bublik was like, oh my God, but he was like, bro, I'm ready to keep going. Like, let's go. Let's finish this game.
Yeah,
Games weren't happy.
at the
Yeah,
same time, he also knew that nothing that he said was going to change the
that's
outcome
true.
of what so he was like,
Gotta
"Oh,
look like the good guy.
I'll even
Yeah.
give up some points, maybe." Like, he could have said anything. But yeah, I was more trying to illustrate the point of like the etiquette in tennis. Yes, we expect that handshake at the end, but like during the match, hey, as long like people have gotten some shit. The crowd booed Rublev for yelling at the linesman. Well deserved. Like I said, also probably deserved a warning, maybe even a point penalty. But man, um, you if you're just taking your frustrations out and you're not hurting anybody, come on. We can't. The semifinal in Dubai. How much money does Rublev lose now?
$157,000 and 200 point ranking points.
So
200
he
ranking
drops out of the top 5 on Monday.
drops out of top 5 on Monday. He can appeal, and if he does appeal, there's a good from what I've read, there's a good chance he gets those points back at least, which I think probably matters more to him than the 150K,
Okay.
the ranking points. But yeah, to drop out of the top 5 on that, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's total bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate that such a good tournament had to be sullied by this. It's drawing some attention to these earlier in the year tournaments, which is nice. But at the same time, like, man, this is a 500 event, and we could have seen a banger ending. We've maybe seen a tiebreak in the third set between Bublik and
That's
Rublev.
the way it was going. 6-5 on serve, 6-5 on serve. Rublev
Yeah,
needed to hold serve to go to the third set tiebreak. I mean, it was a phenomenal game. That was some high level shit.
it
That
was
was great.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Hey, I'm Bears playing at that same level, so I'm excited to see Bublik and Bear square off. I know who you're riding already.
Bublik plus 2,500, baby. Plus
Make sure you
2,500
tweet it
before the
out. Make sure you
tournament
tweet it
started.
out. But also, if you don't catch our tweets, you're not on Twitter or X. Check just keep bookmark our bet tracker. It's linked in the description so you can keep track of what we're putting our money on. And yeah, that's all I've got. Like I said, unfortunate, but we've still got some good tennis to be played this week. We'll update the viewers on the rest of the stuff at the end, or on our next episode rather, on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see y'all Sunday.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy watching the finals. All right, take care. All right, good job.